Well, hello and welcome back to a brand new year. This time we are in world history and you are doing everything online at home. But we don't want to just leave you hanging. We want to support you. My name is Mr. Wilson. I am the world history instructor here. And so what we want to do is we want to go over some of the expectations, what things you can expect, and how you can get some help. So without further ado, let's jump into the syllabus. So the syllabus looks similar to this. Several pages. There are some signatures that are required on it that you can either bring back to me, throw it in my teacher's box, or you can give it to your teacher, your oversight teacher. We don't have an actual scheduled classroom time. There's no Zoom time for this one. You're just going online on your own, watching videos, getting through the different assignments. But I do have office hours on Tuesdays from 12:30 to 1:30. If you get stuck, you need clarification, you want to sort of discuss some ideas before you put it on paper, you're not understanding how, what is being discussed, the concepts behind them, then please reach out to me. You can email me. My email's down on the bottom of this page. You can meet me at school and ask for some time. I'll be happy to meet with you, sit down, Zoom with you if you are completely at home and sort of remote, and we can move from there, okay? Textbook, you only need the world history, the modern world textbook. All of the other supplemental materials will be provided to you either in PDF form or through the Google Classroom. There is a driving principle. Unlike your traditional world history classes or history classes of any kind, we're going to ask of you to put on sort of a detective hat. I want you to dig into the who and what and when and why, particularly the why, because it's more of the attitude, the motivations that I want you to learn. I want you to see the patterns. We're going to forensically sort of dissect history, and that's what we're going to do throughout the entire year. I use Machiavelli's principle here. He writes many years ago in the 1500s, he says, whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past. And we tend to pick up that line and say, oh, well, it means that history repeats itself. And therefore, all you got to do is look at history and you'll know what's going to happen next. Not quite. He takes it a little step further. He gives you a reason why history repeats itself. He says, for or because human events ever resemble those of preceding times. History repeats itself. This arises, why? From the fact that they are produced by man, who ever have been and ever shall be, here's the clue, animated by the same passions, and thus they necessarily have the same results. So you get that? He's saying that the things of the heart are the same for all mankind in every culture throughout all of history. Humanity has always been driven by the same lusts and greeds and powers and desires to survive. All of this, to get ahead, all of these passions, he calls them, are locked into the heart of man, and therefore they always inform the decisions that man makes. They reach a particular situation and they kind of judge their opportunities and what are some of the risks or problems of getting through that. And they say, well, what serves me best? What do I want? What do my passions drive me toward? I have this choice. I can do this. And that's how they make their decisions, producing ever new situations, and the cycle continues. And that's what this is, the cycle of choices. no matter where we are in history or our study of history, we can look at, well, what is the situation or situations that are being presented in the globe, to the village, to the person, to the nation, to the kingdom, no matter where it is in the world, no matter what time we are speaking of. What is the situation from all the different points of view, all the parties that are involved and are in this situation? What are in their mind the problems and risks that they face? What are the opportunities, the things that they might take advantage of or might turn into their favor? What do they want? What are their passions driving them towards? And then look at the choices that are before them. What could they do? What possible choices might they make? And then which choice did they make? Almost 99.9999% of the time, the passion, the desire, the drive is what's going to inform and motivate the choice that are made. The choice that is made, excuse me. Got to keep my English alive. And of course, out of that choice, out of that action, that event, that decision, we end up with a brand new situation. The world changes, society changes, and therefore the cycle continues to go around and around and around and around. That's forensic history, and I want you throughout this course to really buckle down. Don't worry about dates and peoples and times and memorizing them and being able to regurgitate them on some test. You're not going to get that, at least very, very minimally. What you're going to get is why. What were the problems? What were the risks? What were the opportunities? What could possibly have motivated these people, this country, to do what they did, to choose what they did? Were there any other options? That's what I want you to do. You're going to become forensic detectives, and history is your crime scene. So that's where we're going. Keep that in mind. Now, of course, world history is massive. It can go from, thousands of years BC to current day, modern day. That's a lot of time, a lot of events, a lot of people, a lot of countries. And I can't cover that in 1 year. It's impossible. So we're going to limit our scope of history a bit. We're going to start when history seems to have changed from traditional history, which had been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and it literally had this cataclysmic sort of change, and it became modern history. We want to look at that, start at that time frame. That is about the 1760s. So that is the time frame we're going to begin. We're not going to go much before that. We might throw ideas of where ideas and things came from prior to that, but we're not going to go back farther than that. Also, we're going to probably go to about the Cold War, about 1950s, right around there. I don't know that we'll be able to take it much farther. However, because you're online and you're doing things pretty much at your own pace, I will do my best to add some additional content that takes place after that, if I can, before the year is up. And if you want to, you can get through that and tackle more. If history is your thing and you happen to like the class, you happen to like where we're going, then at least you'll have it there. So that's our time frame, that's our slot. There is a work that's going to need to be done on a timely basis. Late work, be very careful with late work. I know you are online and therefore working at home. You don't have a teacher telling you, hey, this is due this, this is due here. However, your PLT, your instructor, who is watching over you and will ultimately give you your grade, he or she will require work on a timely basis. You need to stay at least on pace, if not ahead of pace. And I suggest that you do your best work, do really well, turn it, make the best out of this year. If you turn anything or you think you're going to be turning things in late, please contact either me or contact your PLT and let them know. I need some extra time. I'm falling behind, world events happened, life happened and I didn't get it done, or I'm having a struggle on this particular one, and we'll make adjustments at that point. If you miss more than 80%, if you miss too many assignments, if they are late too many times, then it will result in a MAR. So that's a missing assignment report. Just because you're at home doesn't mean you don't get missing assignment reports. Keep in contact and communication with your PLT and with me if you need to. If you can't get a hold of him or her, contact me. And then I'll tell them, I'll talk to them, okay? Don't get MARs. If you get 2 MARs, we are going to meet together. We're going to have this big council session, and we're going to kind of try to figure out what we can do to get you back on track. You get your 3rd one, and we drop you from the class. So don't get behind. That's the bottom line. Don't get behind. All of the assignments, all of the syllabus, all of the weekly schedules that we're going to talk about in a minute, all of those are in the will be in the Google Classroom, and you can follow along there. However, your grade, your good grade will be in the parent-student portal. So look in the parent-student portal for the grade. Don't look in the Google Classroom. I don't grade in the Google Classroom other than telling you, yeah, you finished it and hand it back to you. So if you want to know what your grade is, your parents want to know what your grade is, then you have to go into the parent-student portal, okay? And if you have questions on how to get there, ask your PLT. All right, finally, the LP planner and assignments. I have planned out all of it. This is sort of like a pacing guide. Each week for each LP has been laid out. It looks something like this. We'll blow up this introduction and week 1. So week 1, you have all of your science. You have your reading. You have 2 videos that you're going to watch. You have certain key ideas, and you should be able to answer any of the questions that are the key questions or key ideas. There's usually some sort of reading primary source that goes with this other than the textbook reading. The textbook itself is almost supplementary. The videos are your primary. So when it comes to the work, look to the videos, take notes, have something that you can refer back to. You can use the notes on your testing and quizzes, as long as your mom or dad are okay with that. The textbook is more for skimming, finding the things that were not covered, getting key ideas, big picture ideas, and jotting those down, writing those, keeping those in your notes as well as we go along. But, as I said, the videos are your primary. So be sure that you watch those earlier in the week so that you have a full week to answer any questions or do any works that are associated with that. So that's what you have. That's what it looks like. Those are the planners. So your first sort of official day of school is Wednesday the 13th of August. So you'll have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that first week. And so I've given you a sort of a quick, easy kind of thinking assignment. I want you to go back to Machiavelli's comments about the human condition and how the human condition and the passions that universally throughout all of time sort of inform our choices, and therefore history kind of repeats itself because the same passions are driving humanity no matter where it is. I want you to go back and think about that. Contemplate it a little bit. Talk with your parents a little bit. Talk with friends. Talk with your PLT. Is Machiavelli right? Is the human condition, the heart of mankind, sort of locked as humans, characteristically in one particular stream, one particular way of looking at life? Doesn't mean that they always act out of greed or a lust for power, but Is that sort of locked into the makeup, the nature of humanity? And if that's right, if Machiavelli's right, what do you think about it? So you're going to write a one-paragraph Google Doc. You can do it by hand if you want to practice your handwriting. Make sure that the papers are formatted properly. You have your name, the class, the date, a title. You need to have proper indentation for paragraphs, no misspellings, grammar counts. You're in the 10th grade now, I assume. That means that your English stuff that you've learned since up to this point counts in every class, whether it be science, history, or whatever. And you will be marked down for improper English or for misspellings. With all the online tools that we have right now, you should not have any issues. Please do not, did you understand that? Don't use AI. I ask this because detectors are becoming more and more sensitive. And if you do use AI, it's considered plagiarism. And you will be kicked out if not receive disciplinary action from the school. So that particular assignment, that intro week, those 3 days, that assignment from Machiavelli, that is due Monday the 18th. Monday the 18th is when the school begins its in-person classes. And so that will be, Monday will begin your first week. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, you have any problems, you need clarification, if your parents want clarification, please reach out to me, let me know, and look for Monday's posting of the next 2 videos. Both are called Traditional versus Modern History, and we'll see you then.